Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to tackle the official rulebook for companies on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Yeah, we're breaking down exactly what it takes to get listed and, just as importantly, stay listed.
All right, so here's how we're going to do this. We're going to follow a company's journey right from the very beginning. First, why do these rules even exist? Then, how do you actually get listed? What's life like once you're a public company? How do you grow by the book? And of course, what happens if you break the rules?
Okay, first things first, why all the rules? I mean, the JSE has this incredibly detailed set of requirements. And it's not just to create paperwork, trust me. It's actually the bedrock of the entire market.
And that leads to a pretty good question, right? Why can't just any company list its shares? If it's just a marketplace, what's with all the hurdles? Well, the whole point is to protect the market's integrity, and that means protecting everyone involved, whether you're a small investor just starting out or a massive pension fund.
You see, it all boils down to these key ideas. The goal is to make sure companies share info with care, that all shareholders get treated the same. A level playing field. This builds trust, and without that trust, investors aren't going to put their money on the line. It's that simple. These rules create a trusted environment where business can happen.
Okay, so that's the why. Now let's get practical. Let's say you're running a company, and you want to go public. You want to make that huge jump. What's the actual process? What do you have to do?
The very first thing you do, before you even think about anything else, is you appoint a sponsor. Seriously, think of them like your expert guide for climbing a mountain. They're the ones who hold your hand through the entire process, making sure you're ticking all the boxes. And you have to have one the entire time you're listed.
All right, with your sponsor on board, your next big job is the pre-listing statement. And this isn't just some pamphlet. This document is the Bible of your company. It's a huge, incredibly detailed breakdown of, well, everything. Finances, business activities, who the directors are, everything an investor needs to make a smart decision. It's basically putting your entire company out there for everyone to see.
So that's the process in a nutshell. It's really these 4 key steps. Get your guide, create that detailed company profile, prove you meet all the standards, and then, and only then, do you get the green light from the JSE to start trading.
But here's the thing. Getting listed isn't the end of the race. It's the starting line. Now the real work begins. We're talking about the ongoing commitments you have to make as a public company every single day.
And what's so important to get here is the constant drumbeat of reporting. You are always on the clock. You've got your interim reports, your annual financials, they all have strict deadlines. This steady flow of information is what keeps the market ticking, making sure everyone has up-to-date info to trade on.
And the transparency gets even more specific. Take this number, 20%. This is a huge deal. If your company realizes its financial results are going to be 20% different from what everyone's expecting, good or bad, you can't just sit on that news. You have to put out what's called a trading statement right away. It's all about avoiding nasty surprises for investors.
This really shows the tightrope that directors have to walk. On one side, total transparency. A director buys or sells a single share, they have to tell the world almost instantly. But on the other side, there are these closed periods where they are completely forbidden from trading. It's a blackout, designed to stop any chance of insider trading before results come out.
Okay, so being listed isn't just about reporting. Companies need to grow, right? They need to raise money, make acquisitions, but guess what? There are strict rules for that too. So let's say a company needs more cash and wants to issue new shares. The number one rule is to be fair to the people who already own a piece of the company. And the way you do that is with a rights offer. It gives the existing shareholders the first shot at buying the new shares so their ownership percentage doesn't get watered down unless they choose to let it.
Now, there are ways around a full rights offer, but you guessed it, you need shareholder permission. There are 2 main flavors here. You can get a general permission once a year to issue a few shares here and there, or if it's a big, specific deal, you have to go back to the shareholders and ask for a special vote just for that one thing. And this works both ways. It's not just about selling shares. Buying them back is also a big deal. The company can't just go on a shopping spree for its own stock. It needs permission, it has to pass a financial health check, and it can't overpay. It's all about protecting the company from making a bad move. All right, which brings us to the last and maybe most important part. With all these rules, what happens when someone breaks them?
Well, the JSE doesn't mess around, and the consequences get more serious the worse the problem is. It usually starts with a chance to fix things, but it can quickly escalate the public's censures and big fines. And if it's really bad,
they can literally halt trading of your shares, or, in the worst-case scenario, kick you off the exchange entirely.
And you know what? The fine is often the least of a company's worries. The real killer is the public fallout. As you can see here, the JSE has the power to tell everyone, newspapers, their website, you name it, exactly what you did wrong. For a company that trades on its reputation, that kind of public shaming can be way more damaging than any fine. Trust is everything, and once it's gone, it's almost impossible to get back.
So that really brings us full circle. You see, these rules aren't just annoying red tape. They're the very architecture of a fair market. Being a listed company isn't just a status symbol. It's a profound promise to be transparent. And that leaves me wondering, as our markets get faster and more complex, what's the next great challenge going to be for protecting investors? What new rules will we need for the next generation?